The Aramaic and Palestinian Targums book has the story of Cain and Abel in it. Again, this book dates back to 515 BCE according to the author. In the previous video, someone in the comments brought up whether the forbidden fruit was a piece of fruit or if it was something much more controversial. What this book says appears that it was not a piece of fruit. And Adam knew Hava, which means Eve, his wife, who had desired the angel, and she conceived and bare Cain. And she said, I have acquired a man, the angel of the Lord. And she added to bear from her husband Adam, his twin, even Habel. And Habel, meaning Abel, was a shepherd of the flock, but Cain was a man working in the earth. And it was at the end of days, on the 14th of Nisan, that Cain brought of the produce of the earth, the seed of cotton or line, an oblation of first things before the Lord. And Habel brought of the firstlings of the flock, and of the fat, and it was pleasing before the Lord. And he gave his countenance to Habel and to his oblation, but to Cain and to his oblation he gave no countenance. Looking for a moment at Exodus 12, it talks about the Passover. So the community of Israel is told on the 10th day of the month to select an animal for the Passover. The sacrifice is an unblemished male. They are told to keep it until the 14th day of the month, and that would be the same 14th of this month, Nisan. Numbers 28:16, and in the 14th day of the first month is the Passover of the Lord. Abel was killed on Passover. Continuing, and Cain was angered greatly, and the features of his face were downcast. And the Lord said to Cain, Why hast thou anger, and why are the features of thy face downcast? If thou doest thy work well, will not thy guilt be forgiven thee? But if thou dost not thy work well in this world, thy sin is retained unto the day of the great judgment, and at the doors of thy heart lieth thy sin. And into thy hand have I delivered the power over evil passion, and unto thee shall be the inclination thereof, that thou mayest have authority over it to become righteous or to sin. And this part goes into the argument which led to the death of Abel. And Cain said to Habel, his brother, Come, and let us two go forth into the field. And it was that when they had gone forth into the field, Cain answered and said to Habel, I perceive that the world was created in goodness, but it is not governed or conducted according to the fruit of good works. For there is respect to persons in judgment. Therefore it is only thy offering was accepted, and mine was not accepted with good will. The way I understand this, Cain is basically saying the world was created in goodness, but there's no God that's governing it. He goes on to say that there's respect in persons in judgment, meaning that the Creator, the one behind the world and the goodness, did not favor Cain. So Abel responds in this way. Habel answered and said to Cain, In goodness was the world created, and according to the fruit of good works it is governed, and there is no respect of persons in judgment. But because the fruits of thy works were better than thine, my oblation before thine hath been accepted with good will. So Abel is basically saying the world was created in goodness, it is governed in goodness, but because your works are not very good, that's why your sacrifice was not accepted. Cain answered and said to Habel, There is neither judgment nor judge, nor another world, nor will good reward be given to the righteous, nor vengeance be taken on the wicked. So basically he's saying there's no judgment, there's no judge, there's no heaven, there's no God. He's also saying there's no judgment against the wicked either. Habel answered and said to Cain, There is a judgment, and there is a judge, and there is another world, and a good reward given to the righteous, and vengeance taken of the wicked. So Cain is basically saying there's no God, there's no heaven, no punishment. And Abel says, yes, there is a God, there is a punishment. And because of these words, they had contention upon the face of the field, and Cain arose against Habel his brother, and drave a stone into his forehead, and killed him. And the Lord said to Cain, Where is Habel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I the keeper of my brother? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of the bloods of the murder of thy brother, which are swallowed up into the sod, crieth before me from the earth. And now, because thou hast killed him, thou art cursed from the earth, which hath opened the mouth, and received the bloods of thy brother from thy hand. And when thou tillest the earth, it shall not add to give strength to the fruits for thee. A wanderer and an exile shall thou be in the earth. And Cain said before the Lord, More heavy is my rebellion than can be borne away. Yet there is power before thee to forgive it. Behold, thou hast cast me forth today from the face of the earth, and from before thee is it possible to be hidden? And because I am a wanderer and an exile in the earth, any just one who findeth me will kill me. And the Lord said to him, Behold now, anyone who killeth Cain, unto 7 generations vengeance shall be taken of him. And the Lord sealed upon the face of Cain the mark of the name Great and Honorable, that anyone who might find him should not kill him when he saw it upon him. I've always wondered if the mark on Cain had anything to do with the mark of the beast, which would come about later. Please feel free to share any thoughts in the comments. The story of Cain and Abel is much more sanitized in the regular Bibles. Reading this translation kind of makes me realize it wasn't an apple that was partaken. This one said Adam knew his wife who had desired the angel and conceived and bare Cain. Looking at what was read in the previous video, as soon as Eve desired to partake of the tree, she sees this angel of death whose name was Samael. That does appear to be referring to the same angel which was desired. The Jerusalem translation had a very interesting variation of this. Referring to the voice of the blood of the brother, it says, The voice of the blood of the multitude of the righteous who were to arise from Habel thy brother. Meaning it wasn't just the voice of the blood of Abel, but the voice of the righteous people who would have descended from Abel. The other version of the Targum that we just read referred to the blood in a plural sense. The earth has received the bloods of thy brother. When I was looking at, she added to bear from her husband Adam his twin, I thought it meant the twin of Cain. I'm wondering if it means it was a twin of Adam, kind of like a mini-me of Adam, and Cain would have been sort of a twin of this angel of death. Let me know what you guys think. I will continue reading and I will share interesting little nuggets I run across.